Hi, my name is Lindsey Lewis, and I'm influencing finance through innovation. I'm also a resident financial feminist. And today on this video, I really just wanted to share with you what it's like being in financial services and tell you a little bit about my career journey. Now, there are a lot of finance things blowing up on different social media platforms, whether that's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Some of the information is really good, and some of it is trash. So how are you going to know what is good and what is not good, and what credentials and what does it mean to be a financial professional or a financial coach? So buckle up. We're going to go through a couple of stats and designations and just an overview and a little bit about my background. So one stat that you should take a look at is that there are more people retiring as financial advisors than coming into the industry. It is alarmingly concerning if there's going to be enough qualified professionals. And the Cerulli data just showed, and Cerulli, for those of you who are, not data nerds, it is a large database, but the math doesn't add up. 110,000 advisors plan to retire in the next 10 years, comprising about 37% of the whole financial services headcount. While recruiting is lagging quite a bit, it's not just a recruiting issue, it is also a rookie failure rate at 72%. So a lot of people who get into financial services are failing out. And that is a combination of personality dynamics, not being educated, but also business models that don't align with your personal values or how you want to be compensated. I love to talk about income risk tolerance versus income risk capacity. Income risk tolerance is how comfortable am I if I miss if my paychecks vary in size? So if I have $1,000 paycheck one week and I have a $5,000 paycheck one week, how comfortable am I with the variation of paycheck numbers? And income risk capacity, that is, if I miss a paycheck, am I going to be okay? So for me, as a mom of 2 kids that needs health insurance and a whole bunch of other things, my income risk capacity is very different than one of my brothers who lives at home. And so what you find is that there's different business models. And one of these videos will go over the spectrum of financial services. But in these business models, we're not aligning with income risk capacity as well as income risk tolerance and how you're being compensated, whether that's commission-based, salary-based, equity, deferred comp, a whole bunch of different structures. But today, I want to share a little bit about my story. So I recently was on Investment News Hot List for 2023. I've received the 40 under 40. I've been selected as a professional who's 20 under the age of 40, as well as a variety of other different awards and designations. And so I started off in this industry early on, which is surprising for most folks. A lot of people who come into this industry are career changers, or they've had a life event that was traumatic financially, and that's what's the catalyst for them getting into financial services. So in high school, I'm a big sports girly, and I thought I wanted to become a doctor. But when I looked at how long it would take me and how much debt I would have to get into, it just wasn't adding up. Also, my favorite subject was math and still is math. Now, there are some things out there that would say, like, you don't have to be good at math to be a financial advisor, which theoretically you don't have to be, a statistician or doing advanced calculus, but you do have to know math. But it really is a relationship business. And we found in the American College of Financial Services research that 60% of financial professionals get into this industry to help people. And that's really why I got into this industry. I went to an undergrad program at Utah Valley University, and there I studied personal financial planning. And yes, there are some nerds out there that do that for their undergrad. But the cool thing about that program is that there's this designation called a certified financial planner professional. And at the end of your program, you can also sit for that professional designation. So I was on a fast track to getting into this industry. So I ended up becoming an MBA and a CFP before age 25. And then later became a chartered financial consultant through the American College of Financial Services, where I work currently. And I have been in a variety of different roles in my decade of experience. So I started off right out of school at what's called a registered investment advisor, which sounds like a person, but it actually is a business. And those companies, they are fiduciaries, which is one of your favorite F words. Fiduciary means that you have to act in the best interest of your client. And firms that take a fiduciary status are really looking to put the client's needs above their own. So I worked at this RIA for a number of years, actually 4 years. And I ended up relocating and with my spouse to the other side of the country and pivoted to a different job at what's called a broker dealer. And a broker dealer also sounds like a person, but it is an entity. So they are the ones that are custodians, which is like a big box or account that buys and sells and trades different investment products like stocks, bonds, ETFs, you name it. So I moved over there and I worked with high net worth folks. I helped people with $1 to $8 million with their financial planning needs. And though I loved it, in my previous role, I actually had worked with institutional clients. So I helped build retirement plans for companies. So if you started somewhere and you have a 401k or a 403b or some sort of deferred comp or profit sharing plan, we call those, defined contribution or defined benefit plans. I helped as a financial advisor to select the investment products that go in there and what the plan design looked like. I also would go on site to all these companies across the US to educate their employees about financial services. I love that aspect. And then when I went to the individual side, I loved educating clients, but it just wasn't the same type of relationship. Also, I was so passionate about women and underrepresented groups getting into financial services. And in that role, because of compliance and a few other things, I wasn't really able to do that and advocate in the way that I wanted to. So 5 years ago, I started hosting an event called Polished at my alma mater that helps women, young women, and girls get interested in finance, entrepreneurship, and leadership. And I've hosted this in-person and virtual events during COVID for the last 5 years, half a decade, dedicated to helping women and girls get into financial services. So I ended up getting a job at the American College of Financial Services, and we are nearly 100 years old, and we help financial professionals get advanced skills in their specific field, niche, etc. And so we have a Center for Women. So I was hired on as the director, and now I'm the senior director of the Center for Women, and I help women with their career and educational journeys. I am also an Enneagram 3 and overachiever, and so I help with our next gen advisory task force. So I also help with new folks getting into the industry, which is the premise of this video. And I've made you wait so long. But why is financial services a great career? So there is 70 trillion with a T, trillion dollars of wealth transitioning over the next couple of decades to the new hands of people, 30 trillion estimated or even larger that are going to the hands of women. Now, if you look at different career opportunities that are out there, $70 trillion business opportunities sounds really great. And we are shifting to a minority majority nation by the year 2050. And 10,000 financial advisors are retiring each year. There's firms that are looking for new talent and people to come into the industry, as well as to sell their practices and to, move on to their next phase of life. So why is this important and why am I making this video? You know what? I don't know, for both reasons. I'm just kidding. I really want to help women, minority groups, underrepresented populations really have a space in financial services. Even though there have been mighty efforts to enhance the industry over the last couple of decades, the percentage of women who are CFP professionals or different designations has not changed in 2 decades. 2 decades. So why is that? Women have the capacity, intellectual capacity, the wherewithal, the networks, the connections to be very successful in this industry, but they're just not finding it, or they're not finding a good fit. And so what I really help people do is coach them through the right fit of where they should be within financial services. So that's a little bit about my background. Comment below if you're interested about learning more about financial services or what part of this video resonated with you the best. This upcoming week, I just wanted to share, I am launching my first mastermind. And so I'm taking a cohort of 12 women. We're going to Austin, Texas. They are movers and shakers in financial services. And what are we going to do? We are going to plan our business, but also take some time. Women are primarily, they're caretakers, they're taking on more emotional labor. So yeah, we're taking a spa day, everyone. Yeah, as a mom of two, I'm like, sign me up. Let's get going. So I'm excited. In these different series of videos, I'll recap what I'm up to and where I'm at all over the country. My job is kind of so vague and so out there, but really, if you are a woman or from an underrepresented group, the queer community, wherever, and you're interested in financial services, add me on LinkedIn, Lindsey Lewis MBA, CFP, ChFC, and we can get connected. I open up my calendar and we can have a coaching session. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, press that little alarm button to make sure you get alerts, and we'll be back in the near future to talk more about finance.